I've been changed, I've been changed. I'll be the first to say I was one of them, that we only live by grace and just have faith. I was taught to listen to what my pastor say. Only you should trust in him, he'll never lead you astray. But now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. The truth has made me free. I've been changed, I am no longer deceived. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. Now let's take something that is so simple. Something simple like the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It is written that his word don't change. Why do you lie and defy the holy scriptures just to satisfy your desires? And now that I know better, he don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. Ain't no going back to what I used to do, no, I've been changed. I'm a new man, I've been changed, I've been changed. Whatever y'all say, I will obey. I no longer listen to men, I test everything they say. Let the word of YAH be true, and let every man be a liar. I've been changed, I've been changed, I've been changed. No more worshiping on a Sunday. I've been changed. No more Christmas, no more Easters. I've been changed. I keep his holy days. I've been changed. Yes, the chains, they've been broken. I've been changed. And this truth will be spoken. I've been changed. 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 I've been changed.
Hey, shalom, 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 y'all. It's Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat, and we got a good show for you today. As you can see by the title of the show, it is the law oppressive or practical? You know, and I'm sure you know my answer to that, but I'm gonna bring some very interesting understanding to why people see it as oppressive, and understandably so. Okay. But then I'm gonna also bring out some good understanding of how practical it is, but why a lot of times we don't see it as practical. So it's gonna be a good lesson and discussion. You're encouraged to definitely contribute to the discussion. Any questions, comments, concerns? Like I said, I'm watching the comments in there. I see all y'all beginning to come in. So yeah, I want to say shalom to Virtuous Jetta. Shalom, sis. Soul to YAH. Shalom. Roderick. Shalom. My Ak Elder Aliyah. Shalom. Steve Morris. Shalom to you. Aleza. Shalom. Good to see you in there. Of course, Sister Koya is over there on Facebook. Shalom to my beautiful wife. Shaka Israel. Shalom. And then Yehukanan Yasha Allah. Shalom. Rhema word all day. Alright. So yeah, but yeah. I'ma tell you, Shalom Leah Israel. Shalom. Good to see you in there. What kind of led up to this lesson, it was funny, was yesterday. I was on Facebook. I was just working on some stuff on there, and somebody went live on there, and they were just going in on Hebrew Israelites hard. Some woman on there, and I was like, the only reason I seen it is because I was friends with her, and she basically said she's a witch or something like that, but she was upset. She was like, they tell you to do this, they tell you to do that, and people were asking her, well, were you in a camp and all this stuff, and this woman was just going in. I'm sure some of y'all seen her on there yesterday, and she had all types of one of the things she kept saying is why are kids getting molested if this is a good God and all this stuff? Why would a good God sit back and let all this stuff happen? And you hear that a lot with atheists. And you got to watch out on Facebook. There's a lot of witches and warlocks and all types of stuff out there that will kind of slide up in there on the low and try to turn things upside down. And truth be told, though, a lot of stuff they say is very to a point it's kind of practical because of what they're seeing, but to a someone properly educated in Torah, in the book, in a practical way, not in some emotional, feeling way, but somebody who's practically educated in Torah, in the word, and has an understanding of the big picture of the word, you could destroy these people. You could actually win them over, really. They have a silly argument. But to your typical, I'm trying to think of a good term for it. To the people who are just kind of, they're doing like their explanation of, well, why you keep the law? Because the Most High told me to. Well, why did the Most High tell you to keep the law? Because he wanted us to. So why are you doing it? Because I have to. And they don't, outside of that, they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. They haven't tied it all in. So with people like that, which is a lot of Hebrews out here in the community, when they come across a person like that woman last night who was basically a witch, because she said it, like, yeah, she admitted it at one point in her video. It looks silly. It looks like a silly religion or whatever. And a lot of, like I say all the time, there's a lot of Christianity that has slid up in this Hebraic movement, and it makes things look silly. So with that said, let me go into my point, what I tell people, what I would tell somebody like that, because you got to understand how this all ties in. A lot of people, and I'm going to just dive right on into it. A lot of people feel like the law is oppressive because they're not doing anything. Like they don't. So if you're just going through the motions, okay, and you're walking this thing out like it's church. So now you're up under somebody and you're just going through the motions. You go there for your lesson, and you got to do this. Why? Because I said so. And then come back here and give me your money and this, that, and the other. The law kind of does seem oppressive. It's like, what's the point? Okay, and that's one of the things a woman was saying, and I'll get into some of the things she raised up. But when you're truly walking this whole book out all the way, what it's truly saying to do, then it begins to make sense. Now, the lesson I did this Shabbat, because we had a Shabbat right here in Jacksonville, and I did a lesson there showing how we need to come together, not coming together up under some pastor or some leader, but coming together on an not just on a spiritual level, but on an economic level, truly coming together. Where one of the things I talked about is, coming together, getting a group of us, and this is repeatable. Anybody could do this wherever they live at. It's not nothing complicated. It's just people have been deceived by a lot of other things. We'll get into that. But one of the things I brought out we could do is here we could put our money together. Everybody put in $150. You get a small group of people, 8 families or something like that. They all put together, $150 a month or whatever. They turn around, they buy a house on a large house, on a large piece of property. They can use that house and that property for all types of things. They could have events there. They could have their Shabbat meetings there. They could all go there and plant. One week everybody goes there and plants stuff. When it's ready to harvest, everybody goes and harvests. So now they're getting food off it. It could be like a hotel when other Hebrews come into town. The low-income families among you can live in there, and it's turning a profit now. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of stuff. Everywhere you live, there's properties on large pieces of land with multiple houses on it. You see what I'm saying? And you get a group of people, they put their money together, and it's transparent. It ain't like, give your money to commanding master Michael Israel, and you don't know what the hell's going on with it. And then everybody sees what's going on, and you do stuff like that. Easier thing I talked about doing is contact a local farmer, buy a side of beef, a big old half of a cow, divide it up amongst the families, and everybody got meat for a year or however long. And you're not blowing all this money in these supermarkets buying poison. Same thing with crops and vegetables and stuff, Everybody get freezers in their garages or whatever. Beginning to operate like a nation and not a congregation in the Christian sense of the word. And a lot of these pimp preachers don't want this. That's why you don't know about this. In order to function this way, there needs to be a standard. Well, we already have the standard, the law, statutes, and commandments. This is where all this comes into play, where, okay, if you under some pimp preacher, these laws, statutes, and commandments seem oppressive. But when you begin to operate as a nation instead of a congregation, then the Most High YAH's laws, statutes, and commandments make sense. Okay? When you're operating under a pimp preacher, his law, statutes, and commandments make sense. Because they building their thing. But when you're operating under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High YAH, and you're functioning that way, and you're building a nation as opposed to a congregation, then it makes sense. And everybody's edified. Everybody has an equal stake in whatever move you make. Everybody benefits from the moves you make. You see what I'm saying? And it's when I say it, it makes practical sense. It's just we've been brainwashed and misled by wolves in sheep's clothing. And then even a lot of the people pushing the typical congregational model. And when I say congregation, I don't mean it. I'm saying it in the, for lack of a better way of saying it, the Christian sense of the word, where you're trying to build your thing, your business, or whatever you want to call what they trying to do, off of the people's backs, instead of everybody building something up for everybody. And what it what YAH's word says is, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his kid's kid. Well, this is how you do it, by building a nation. Now, silly, stupid people will build an inheritance for they pimp preachers' kids. Like, a lot of y'all done built an inheritance for Creflo Dollar's kids on forever. And you done, damn, now your kids got run off to some Greek college and beg these other nations for a job, and then try to form some type of business, and in the process of doing that, meet some nut that they marry and screw their life up, and blah 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 blah. And that lesson I taught, we brought out that scripture in Jeremiah, I think it was in Jeremiah 28 or 29, and it tells you how to function in this captivity. It said build houses. It said plant crops. It said marry your children off to each other, not to nuts out in this world. You see all the crazy stuff. You heard the stuff I brought out in that other lesson. There's the sisters are aborting the children at 900 a day. Okay, it's not just the sisters, because the sisters don't just pop up pregnant. Something go up in there to make that thing happen. It's the brothers too. And it's a mess, because folks are just hooking up, and there's no guidance, there's no wisdom. That's because we out here with pimp preachers, and they're building congregations instead of building nations. Well, spiritual combat, this is a new move on my ministry, a new direction we're going to be pushing hard and be loud about is I'm building a nation. And when I'm saying and I shouldn't even say spiritual combat and what we're doing, what I'm looking to do, I'm seeking to hook up with brothers and sisters who want to build a nation and not a congregation. Okay? And when I say congregation, I understand because you're going to get some idiot who want to justify they pimping. I understand what the definition and how that word breaks down, but I'm using the terminology they use. This congregation. And what it really is, this pimp preacher's money funnel. How he funnels the money into his bank account. I'm not trying to sell you emotional highs where you could jump around and shout and feel good and say, hey, that was a move of God. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to do that. I want to really make this thing happen. So that's the direction I'm moving. Now, in order for us to move this way, we got to have a common common unity. We got to be like-minded, okay? The closer you begin to come together and build, everybody has to be aligned. Initially, you got to be morally aligned as you come closer and closer together. You got to be able to be honest and straightforward and be able to express yourself, and you come closer and closer, and then um, as you become closer together, you have to be able to just in all aspects of living, you have to be able to function in common unity, in wisdom. So, like a lot of stuff ties into that lifestyle. How do you everything from how you eat, dietary law, to how you dress, dare I say, you know, to how you deal with each other. A big part, and a lot of people feel is oppressive, is how you function in your marriage. If your marriage is out of order, you really can't come together in any meaningful way, because it's just if your marriage is tumultuous, that marriage is the building block of a nation. Now, in a congregation, the so-called congregations, they need that marriage broken apart, because that preacher gotta be in control of everybody, not that man. That boy, y'all don't want me to get started on that. All right, let's see what we got. Van Franks, he put, I'm only my only problem I have with Hebrews understanding concerning the term law is that we are under the covenant of Moses' laws of 10 commandments. This is one statute that we are to put inside our hearts. Our hearts. This is the problem for me is that the other covenants which are broken as a people had 613 laws that was practically done away with because we are out of Egypt under. Okay, so which say that you are to number 7 have one wife. That contradicts the previous old laws of many wives. Okay, all right. So let's address Van Franks. So, Brother Van Franks, when you look at the 613 laws, one of them is, you can't be a gayfer. You can't be a homosexual. You can't have sex with animals. So you're saying all that's done away with. In the Christian church, that is done away with. They do all that. You could in the Christian church, you could be a homosexual. You know what I'm saying? You can just look at the choir in there. You can be with as many men as you want. You can have multiple men. God forbid you take care of your 2 babies' mamas and you put them on. You see what I'm saying? If you subscribe to what you said, and let me say this also, you see the laws, statutes, and commandments early on, even in the book of Genesis. You see the laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, they weren't written out until they came out of Egypt, but and again, that's another show, but we can go through all them laws, statutes, and commandments, and I can show you how practical they are in us coming together. But just keeping it real simple and straightforward, if you want to look at what this brother said, he said we're only under the 10 commandments, and that's what the church says, and they don't even keep that. They don't even keep that. I mean, he said keep the Sabbath holy. They keep Sunday holy. So they're messy. They're sloppy. But that's I mean, that's a whole nother show. You know what I'm saying? And then he said the multiple wives thing. The Most High YAH told King David, "Hey, I gave you, wives with an S in Torah." So that is the law in Torah. It says if a man have multiple wives, it says that in Deuteronomy. So What he's talking about is something in the New Testament where it talks about a leader shall be one of one wife. So that's what he's talking about. But I'm not getting into anything like that's not what this is about, because it's so practical and it's so simple for me to show that there is no way for us to come together in any meaningful way in order to begin to come up from under these curses. It's impossible for us to do it under Christian doctrine or under this doctrine where, hey, all we got to do is keep the 10 Commandments, when the 10 Commandments are the other 613 just compressed. You know what I'm saying? It said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. That's the first one. Well, how do you love him? If you love me, you will keep my commandments. And he commanded us stuff all through the Torah to do. It's real simple. Okay? And what you find, see, this is what a lot of people don't understand. Maybe it helped me coming out of the military, because in the military, what would happen, like, we get deployed to the Middle East. Okay, we go to the Middle East, and we'd be out in the desert in a bunch of tents, operating under real high pressure situations, like really functioning under, you're working 12-hour shifts, 12 on, 12 off. A lot of planes are going up. You got, it's a high pressure work environment. It's over 100 degrees every day out there, minimum 120 degrees. It's a highly stressful, demanding, dangerous environment, on duty and off duty. Like I said, you're staying in tents around a large group of people. You need law. Now, a Christian would say, well, some of these laws y'all have are oppressive, out there in the desert. Yeah. But then when you see, like, you'll get in trouble if they catch you coming out of the bathroom and not washing your hands. Like, you'll get in trouble. You'll get written up. If they come around and you're working on a plane and you don't have your technical manual open, they will write you up right there on the spot. When you're in the States, they won't do that. Okay, it's more laid back. But out there, if your hygiene gets off and you're not washing your hands after you come out of the bathroom, sickness can spread real fast among everybody. So it's just, so what happened when I came out there, I was like, dang, they ain't playing with all these rules. But then as you function in it for a while, then you begin to see what happens when you don't follow the rules. And you see why they're so important. Fast forward to today. You look in the Christian church. The Christian church is full of homosexuals. The Christian Hebrew, these congregations call themselves Christian Hebrews. You begin to look at a lot of these people. You see a lot of homosexuality. You see a lot of marriage problems, marriage issues, okay, in the Christian church. You think this 900 abortion a day, you think these women aren't Christians? You don't think a lot of these women identify themselves as Christians? You look at the divorce rate among our people. You look at all this stuff, and then you begin to look at these laws, and I don't have to get in some philosophical, biblical debate with a Christian to tell them that, look, we need to keep these laws. But the reason they see them as oppressive is because they've been deceived, and, they don't see all the wickedness going on around them. They think, oh, it's cool. Because they want to live by their carnal nature, by their flesh. The churches, these churches are some of the wickedest places you could be up in, with all the molestation. a lot of these homosexuals were molested at young ages in churches by homosexuals. And you just see them running rampant around. You ain't gonna see them around me. In spiritual combat, I preach that spirit. Either that spirit, either you're gonna have to repent and get that spirit off you, or you're gonna get the heck on, because you ain't gonna be around no little boys that's around me. Period. Get it together. All right. So y'all put a lot of stuff in here. So the dude put Van Franks must be a Christian, because he put those Torah laws seem practical, but they were still done away with. No, only that they were never given to Abraham. They are Babylonian laws written in Aramaic language. Moses never spoke that. Okay, so like I said, Moses never spoke that language. His laws were written on Paleo Sign language. You have to remember that the Most High said he would put his law in your heart till the point that you would no longer need to teach those laws to your neighbor. Okay. And so go look at in Christian church, and they need some laws taught to them, because they don't know it's a sin to be a homosexual. They don't know it's a sin to molest. They don't know the order of a marriage. Like, look at the disaster up in there. And I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even have to get into a technical breakdown of what I'm saying. You know. So, but I'll tell you what, Van Franks, because I'm not gonna be dismissive of you. If you I could invite you. You could come on my show. My email address is right there on the screen. You come on the show and we'll have a discussion. I could bring Ak on. He would have it wouldn't be no debate or argument. Y'all can have a discussion on what you're saying. And like I said, I could show you on a practical level, on a biblical level, on a scholarly. I can show you on multiple levels that we are absolutely to keep the law. I mean, if you don't think we should keep the law, look at our people. Look at the condition of our people. Look at the main things that plague us as a nation, and then look at what the law says, and you will see that is the obvious solution. I mean, it fits perfectly like a puzzle piece. There's nothing else that would help us. And then what you're going to also find is the doctrine of Christianity that these black Christian preachers teach is absolutely perfectly what's keeping us destroyed. Okay? All right. Okay, so let's see. I see y'all done put a lot of stuff in there. We can put about 5 homes in a trust. So, see, this sister here got this thing down, what we're talking about. It says we can put about 5 homes in a trust and use the equity to buy a whole block. See? That email me, please. Because I didn't know that. And the trust is the equity. So that's super heavy right there. That's super heavy. But that's what I'm talking about. And it's funny because if you watch my lesson I did this weekend at the Jacksonville Shabbat, it was heavy because Jeremy brought out the scripture in Torah, in the law, where it told you how to and this is if we're going to do something like what sis just put in here, it's heavy because it tells you to deal honestly with your brother and be transparent and be honest and don't do underhanded things. You can't do what I'm talking about with a Christian or with these people that call themselves Christians in these black Christian churches. They say, well, I'm right in my heart. So that what they're saying is in my emotions, in my carnal nature, I feel right and correct, but they wicked as hell. They're molesting kids. They running around with men. You know, they're cheating on their wives. The wives are cheating on the husbands. That's why what you're going to find, that's why there's a mass exodus out of Christianity, because they see how wicked it is. I mean, I can't go into that enough, but it's lawlessness. They have no standard. And what the brother here was trying to say is, like, when you listen to a person who they call themselves a Christian, but they're not really Christian, it'd be better to call themselves Paulians. Because as soon as you begin to ask them about it, they go to Paul. They don't go to what Christ said. Because Christ sends you right back to Torah, period. You know? But when you have them break their doctrine down, the underlying tone you hear is what I feel. I feel it's in my heart and I feel this. So they're led by their carnal nature. That's why there's so much wickedness and evil and death and destruction and pain going on in the Christian church. You go on the news and you look at the people who do everything wicked, the people shooting places up, the people gangbanging, the women aborting their babies and all that. Majority of them say, hey, I'm a Christian and God loves me and all this stuff. Y'all don't really want me to go. Some of y'all want me to go there, but I ain't going to go there. If they start begging in the beginning of a video, I don't donate. Yeah. Well, I tell you with spiritual combat, like, don't feel obligated to need to give money to me. Like, some people are like, you know what? I like what you taught. You know, how do I give some money to you? So I put the PayPal thing up there and the Cash App. But I tell the people, like, if you want to give me money and you struggling, don't give me money. Like, I ain't supposed to be up. This kingdom work. Now, if y'all want to do something, let's buy some houses. And like the sister said, put them in the trust, and then you can use the trust to buy more stuff. Like, that's, sister, definitely make sure you contact me. All right? And let's do that and form a corporation to do that, so everybody has access to the accounts. Everybody sees where the money goes. Everybody knows what's going on. Not this crap you see that's birthed out of Christianity. Yeah, just kick your money up to me. Yep. Just send it up here. Okay. And I'm going to be doing this. And he really doing that. You don't know what the hell he doing. And it ain't book. And then at the end of the day, what's it done for the nation? You bought him a building, you know? So do it. Let's do it. Let's nation build instead of congregation build. All right. So that's right. I've been a part of congregations, but a part of this family, I finally feel whole. We just need a family Midwest. Yeah, and like I said, we've brainstormed. We've had some ideas as far as you know, doing this thing. We've had some ideas as far as doing the thing with a home and with the food and all that stuff. So, you know, and that's just what I could think of offhand, because our biggest expenses are food and shelter. Okay, so I was thinking up some stuff on that. All right. Now, okay, y'all need to donate to Spiritual Combat. We try and get this building a church. We're gonna buy this. You know, if I'd rather buy a house that we could do our Shabbat in here in Jacksonville, and everybody be part owner in that house. And like I said, y'all heard me say it on my lesson. Let's see. What did the Most High say to Solomon? He said, "Don't multiply wives," but we always skip over that. Okay, we can with Sister Black Rose. What you would need to do is study out what that term "multiply wives" mean. Okay, because but just to give you a quick quick like understanding, in Torah, in Deuteronomy, it says if a man have multiple wives, it says it. So it's like you won't find anything in Torah where it says thou shalt only have one wife. Now, let me say this though. You got a lot of men out here, because I'm going to tell you two stories. You got a lot of men out here that just, because they lust-filled dogs, they want to get a bunch of wives, but they're not even in a relationship with the Most High, let alone with themselves. So them having one wife won't even work out. Now they got multiple wives, so what they're doing is increasing the destruction. You know what I'm saying? Just to have one wife in this captivity, it can be tough on both, because there's an attack on marriage. All right. So to have multiple can be very, I haven't really run into too many men who I feel got a spirit to handle that. And I teach on relationships. Now, there's an Ak who, when he came in this truth, he had women on the side that he was messing with. 3 women, had babies by them. And when he came into this truth, he married all 3 of them, because he wasn't going to just leave them out there like that. And I don't think that's a sin. I don't see where it says that it says if you have more than one wife, that's a sin. Now people imply, well, the Most High did not intend it that way in the beginning, but like for instance, it clearly it with no level of confusion says don't be gay. Okay? It says that. But you see, like you look in the churches and you see them wandering around slinging AIDS all over the place. Okay? But on that, that, but that's all right. Definitely the church is. The law can be both oppressive and practical. So let me say this. So when the law is, I'm glad you got me back on topic, Malak. The law will feel oppressive when it's not done in its full way. It's just like you got a person who's meant, like people, you got somebody who likes to be out walking and doing all types of stuff, and you keep them bottled up in some house. That's how this Christian or so-called Christian understanding of the Bible is. You got people, okay, we got to build this congregation, and you're giving your money, and they're buying stuff, and he's getting richer, and he's telling you, yeah, we're growing in the spirit and all this stuff, and it's bull crap. Nothing's really happening. But then when I say, look, this is how we walk it out. We got to buy property, buy land, buy stuff as a nation together and begin doing this thing. and begin. Eventually, we done bought up enough houses to where we could live near each other and all that. And like the sister said, she out in the Midwest. Well, now we done bought up enough places. We can move her out and she can live among us and all this stuff. Well, now you need the law. Now it don't seem oppressive. But now the law seems practical because you got to live in close proximity around each other. So somebody can't be out there, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with wearing spandex cat suits and walking outside and picking plants in my spandex cat suit from everybody see my big old butt and men to be thinking nasty thoughts, Now, it don't seem oppressive to tell her to go cover her big old butt up. That don't seem oppressive. Like all these little laws, when you look at them in a nation, from a nation standpoint, where we're functioning in a community, now stuff has to be governed and regulated. But if you're up in a Christian church just getting emotional, getting sweaty, and doing whatever the hell you want, and the only thing he wants is your money, of course he's going to tell you have fun, have a good time. He wants you to have fun. He wants you to get emotional. He wants you to have a good time, because then you're more likely to give him that paper. And that's all he's about. But we're going to build a nation. You're not building a nation without some laws, statutes, and commandments. That's the silliness of Christians, man. These people who call themselves Christians. Because I don't want to say Christians are silly. These people who deceptively call themselves Christians. You can't do, I would, like somebody tell me, oh yeah, I'm a Christian. I automatically know I'm not dealing with them. I ain't gonna bring my kids around them. I'm not trying to do anything economic with them, business. I'm just staying away from them because they're lawless. They're lawless people. All right? Let's see. Churches are being bought out by investment firms. Their property is valuable now, and that's how they are getting bigger bucks and then retiring, leaving the congregation to fend for itself. You see what I'm saying? People are backing up what I'm saying with facts. In this day and age, if people still in the Christian church, they deserve to get their money to and be deceived. Yeah, if you're sitting up in a Christian church and if you're up in there, you deserve that. Like you're getting your judgment by sitting up in there, giving your money to this man here, giving the money to him. Okay? Because we're in a time right now where all things is being exposed to truth. Yeah, the truth's coming out. See, no longer, yeah. So yeah, some the new thing is, look, social media, it keeps these crooked people honest. Like they still ain't figured out how to deal with social media, because if you crooked, you get exposed to the masses. And these Christian pastors and these deceptive pimp preachers or pimp leaders have still not figured out social media. They ain't figured it out yet. There ain't no countering it. Because if you're off, Black Rose said, and even if they get their self together, some of them have AIDS and HIV. Yeah, and I'm not saying it, that's a sad thing, man. It's dangerous out here with all that stuff, man. People don't understand how real this thing is. That's why I said it's going to be kind of a new area I'm going to be sticking in, because like I teach on marriage and relationships, and I don't pull punches on it. I come down the middle on marriage and relationships. I tell the women, get in order, be a quiet, shamefaced woman the way the Bible lays out. And I tell the men, step up and be a real leader, not some emotional macho boy, and not no half-gay homosexual treats his wife like his mother. And I push that because I'm not dealing with men that's any other way. Because you can't do nothing outside of that. It's just going to be a mess. Okay? I'm not building, like, there's certain types of people I'm not doing nothing with because you can't come together with them. If you don't got your character in order and know how to deal and talk with people on a friendly, cordial level and reason yourself, there ain't no coming together. This is just simple, practical stuff. All right, let's see. All right. Shalom, family from the UK. All right, shalom. Folk want to live by their desire, so the law is a thorn to them. It's grievous. You see what I'm saying? Y'all, some of y'all put it better than I could ever put it. Y'all put it in amazing terms. Paul sends them right back to Torah. They just don't know the book. Yes. Facts. Big facts. I need to I got some people I could bring on that could show you every single thing Paul says. Malachi did it when he came on here. Everything Paul says, you can find it right there in the Torah. Even the heavy stuff. I mean, you seen Malachi do it. He did it on some stuff that folks don't even want to really hear. So, the pastor sleeping with the members. Let's not even get on that. I was a part of a children's ministry, and one of the teachers told the kids that Yahuwah loves them the just the way they are, and it doesn't matter what they do because he loves them. That is Satan. That's Satan. You do what thou wilt. You see what I'm saying? That is satanic. And folks don't see it because it feels good. And people who come on here saying, oh, well, it's done away with, and come on the show. And we will, and it ain't going to be no shouting match. It's just going to be we can reason it out. I don't do shouting matches on here. It'll be a peaceful discussion. But people want to do what feels good because they've been beguiled by people who are doing this for filthy lucre's sake. And part of a con man is called confidence, man. He got to make you feel good, man. That's why these pastors go after the women. Because a dude will be like me. Like, I walked up in Eddie Long's church. I was like, Ma. I was like, why is he wearing a Jerry curl wig? Oh, don't worry, honey. He a man of God. I was like, but Ma, the wig, he got a Jerry curl wig on. You know what I'm saying? Like, dudes is like, we ain't getting caught up in the emotional, man. Not like that. I live in an apartment and have never grown food before, but I planted some potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket this weekend. All praises. On the patio. I'm so excited. Planting appears to be EOW2. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah. Look, sis, look down here, what I'm doing right now, I'm actively pushing this thing where I'm not gonna, like, I'm about action. I want to make moves and walk this thing out for real. Not just having a book reading every Saturday. You know what I'm saying? We need to do something outside of that. That's not doing nothing. We just studying instruction. Let's carry out the instruction for real. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, you're just going through the motion with the law. You just kind of, why are you keeping the law? Because it says so. But you don't see why. When you begin to walk this out, you see why he tells you to keep the law. Why folks need to be in order. Why folks need to dress this way. Why people need to behave this way. Because when you begin to come together as a nation, you got to function a certain way. It says, I think in Ezekiel, we were trying to find that scripture this weekend, and it said these other, it's in Jeremiah. It said they're going to see his spirit on us. And that's going to make them know that we're the people of the book. They're going to see us going from we stop gangbanging and killing each other and all the men stop being homosexuals to the men are leaders in their home. We begin to come together and put our money together and have our own economy. They're going to be like, man, that got to be the Spirit of God on them. When it says they're going to see the Spirit of God on us, that don't mean we'll be running around. Running around like some gay, sweaty nuts. You know what I'm saying? No, they're going to see us functioning as a nation. That's a book. But you can't tell these people in these Christian churches that. They think they got the Spirit. All right, let's see. Solomon, let's see, because this is what most of these Hebrews push when you first come into the truth. Oh, I believe in multiple. Well, and let me say, because you just triggered something else. Now, and you're right. A lot of these Hebrews, when you come into their groups and stuff like that, she was saying they push the multiple wives, and that's what I'm saying. When you study this word, it's a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, of your heart, and you can discern what's going on with other people. So you come into a congregation, you're like, yeah, you know we can have multiple wives. You know, you got a congregation, a bunch of lust-filled dogs, and then you can watch them and see that they're just they lusted up. What I push and what I look for and what I'm big on is having character development, self-control. Your personality is under control. Your anger, your frustration, your feelings, the way you deal with people. You're not all hyped up and forceful. You empathize, you're patient, long-suffering, all that stuff. The basic building block character stuff that the book is pointing you to. Your heart's right. Yeah, absolutely. In a lot of these Hebrew organizations, it's just niggas, period. So instead of running around with a bunch of women, sleeping around with a bunch of women, being a dog, smoking weed, drinking, going to the club, well, now they ain't nothing changed in them. Now they just doing it according to the book. Oh yeah, I got multiple wives, but I had to divorce her. She wasn't in order. So you still hoeing around. You still smoking weed. It's herbs. It's herbs. No, THC was manipulated into that weed as by man. Weed in its natural form is all CBD, and that don't get you high, and it's healthy. That crap you smoking is pharmakia. You doing sorcery, drinking, still in the club. Niggas ain't changed one bit. So I feel you on what you're saying. You know, it's a sloppy mess. But over here, no, that's not what it's about. And like I said, when you look at that multiple wives thing and the concubines and all that stuff, and you look at how it functioned, there had to be, you could see situations in it where there had to be a council of wise men that was up over them. There had to be, for some of the stuff to be able to function the way it needed. We don't got that, you know. Yeah, you're right. Some of the stuff I done heard out there, it's a mess. But I will say this: there are situations where, like I told you about the Ak who had a bunch of girlfriends. He came into the truth. He had kids by these women, and he wasn't gonna marry one and just leave the rest out there. So he did that, and that's not a sin. There's no way you could prove to me that, how he did that is a sin. But some of these dudes, you could see that they ain't even got themselves under control, and they want to jump into this, and what they're gonna end up doing is just ruining a whole bunch of people. So again, there needs to be you you have to discern the thoughts and intents. You got to really be grounded in this word on a spiritual level when it comes to marriage, period. Because again, I gotta say it again, most people don't have a relationship with YAH, let alone with themselves. They're not in touch enough with their own emotions to see where they're getting frustrated, where they got anger issues. They don't even know what's going on in them, let alone what the Most High Yah want them to be doing. And the women are sensitive. Like, women can key in on this and see this, so they can see where it's messy at, you know. All right, yes, and they all have different beliefs about the Bible, and they say it's okay. Yeah, I was a part of a children. Okay, all right. All right. Let me see. Because this is what most of these Hebrews push. Solomon was able to afford and take care of all of those wives. The Most High told him, don't get any wives from these other nations. So you have to read that. Yep, because the women from the other nation, and that's what he did. He was taking wives from other nations. Let's see. Yes, I've been wanting to do that, but we don't know anyone. But Christians were my know anyone, but Christians were my husband, and I live. We stay home and pray and study because of how messed up the church is, and Yahuwah open our eyes. All praises. Melissa, let me know where you live, what state, and also if you go to the Brew link, I got a thing on there. It's a Hebrews Near You thing that you can register on, and there's a ministries category on there where you can find people who live near you. Again, be careful though. You got to discern their spirits. Because I've seen Bruce who got this whole book memorized and could precept it and stack stuff on all types of levels. But their character, their spirit be off. And they done used all that scripture knowledge to deceive themselves. And they're very inauthentic to deal with. Like, you could feel it on them. But what's deceptive, they'll mask it with all this scripture stuff they done learned over the course of 30-something odd years. Yep. Exactly. What did the script say? We are to keep laws because, all right, yep. If we love him, keep his commandments. That basic book right there. Let's see what, yeah. But, yeah, I was talking to the OC, brother Judah of the NMP up there. He's in upstate New York. I was talking to him I think on Friday or Thursday, and he told me straight up he do not agree with the multiple wife thing, and because the way he studies the Bible, and this what sets him apart, his expertise. Like, my expertise is relationships and stuff like that. He studies the book out in a religio-political, economical way, to where, and they have a huge community up there. They almost brought out a whole like subdivision or street up there, and they bought a huge piece of land that they're gonna farm that land to where they'll be self-sufficient. You know, they'll get all their fruits and vegetables off there or whatever. But anyway, he was saying that, yeah, when people do that, like, I know, all I do is I teach on marriage and relationships, stuff like that. And, you know, any dude with, you know, men like women. You know, we like, you know, and men have sex drives and all that stuff like that. But a wise man ain't led. Again, when you're in proper relationship with the Most High, then you're going to be in proper relationship with your carnal nature and your spirit and understand yourself. And you're not going to deceive yourself. Oh, yeah, I need multiple wives and all that, because you're going to count the cost. You're going to realize that what goes into all that. Yeah, the sex might be what's up. That's what King Solomon got caught up in. But there's a lot more that goes into that. If you are really a man who is considerate of other people, you're going to understand that, hey, you don't want to mislead this woman. You're going to understand, like, for women, how like a lot these women have been deceived so hard because they're the weaker vessel, so the deception is more destructive to them. So there's a lot of stuff that they have to work through in themselves. And most dudes, when they begin seeing that, that's when they look for an exit strategy up out of there. When they see how, so it's a lot, man. That's a whole lesson. I could go all into that. I done seen dudes who, oh man, y'all don't really want. I'm not gonna touch that. I'll do a class. I'll do a whole lesson on that, where, like I said, there's situations where, yeah, that it's better because, but we gotta understand that the level of programming and brainwashing and the destruction they've done on our women, even just since the 60s and 70s to now, man, the level of witchcraft they've done on our women and the men too, is, people don't see it. They don't realize it. Okay, so in Wisconsin, yeah, we got somebody out there, but there's not a lot of us out there in the Midwest. But like what I say, it might be worth it for y'all to move. Like, and I'm gonna be honest, if we really get something established here, it'd be encouraged, because there's a way you could do this thing to where, but I'll do a lesson on that. Because like I said, we're gonna talk about this community building thing a lot. But what I wanted to say is, when you're inactive and you're not carrying out the instruction completely, it can appear to be oppressive. That's why a lot of people, like, they say, hey, you need to do this law. Why? Because it's the law. Why? Because Most High said so. Okay. So keep it. Okay. And you just blindly keeping stuff. You don't see the practicality in it. You're just doing it because the Most High said so. But when you get a whole understanding and you see why you need to keep it. I was talking with one of my ox the other day, with the feast days. The feast days coincide with when you need to be planting and when you need to be harvesting and planting again. Like, when we begin doing this, like when we buy a big old property with a big old house on it, and like one of the Shabbats, we'd be like, all right, so tomorrow on Sunday, we're all going to meet out here and we're going to begin planting on this land. We're going to plant, and we got everybody in our congregation, women, kids, men, everybody out there planting. And they plant the land, and the stuff grows, and then we all go out there and we harvest all the land. And it's the feast day. Now we got food for the feast day, and it really begins to make sense. Instead of you just blindly going through the motions, oh, now why are we doing this again? But now when you're actually doing it, now you get a heavy understanding, and it's grounded in you, okay? But when you like these Christians or some of these half-stepping Hebrews, like some of these dudes understand this book way more than me, and the only thing they pushing in their ministry is smoking weed and multiple wives. It's like, and the women, and they can't figure out, and y'all women are wicked if you don't want to do this, And it's like Shabbat in, and it looked like Black Moon into the cipher. You know, they out there in a circle getting blazed up, and the kids is like, huh? And they can't figure out why the women are like, I don't know if I like this. Because all they do, like every dude got 20 wives and smoking, you know, they have a weed smoking session. Look like, I don't know, some marijuana conference outside, you know. It's sloppy. It's messy, man. So, like I said, I know a lot of y'all don't like me already. All right, shalom, family. This straight talk. There's nothing oppressive about righteousness, right? Being in right standing with YAH and the family. Each nation has governing laws. YAH is no different. Yep. It's only a few people that teach strictly from the book, no philosophy here. That is left on YouTube. I had to unsubscribe from a lot of people. I'm still doing it. Because what I need is, pretty soon my subscriptions, like I learned from maybe, there's probably 2, maximum maybe 3 people I learned from on YouTube. And, you know, I don't agree with everything they teach, but the bulk of what they teach is spot on. And I never hear anybody talk about them, you know, as far as, I don't think anybody else really watches them in my circle. And like I said, I take the meat and throw out the bones, but there's just a lot of talk. And like I played my man Marshawn Lynch before, he's like, I don't like talking. And like, I'm about that action, boss. I'm about that action. Like, what can we do? Like, let's do it. Like the one sister, man, what she said, I'm getting ready to go in and start researching that. That was heavy with the trust. You know? I'm tired of going through the motions. I remember when I came into this, I tried to form a congregation. Hey, trying to make people leaders and all this crap, and something didn't feel right about it in my spirit. It was like it was burdensome. And fast forward, it's like I had that church mentality. Oh, people watch my channel. Okay, I gotta form this congregation, and they gotta be up under me, and we gotta meet and all that. Nah, we need to form a nation through not just spiritually, but economically and all these other ways, so that when our kids get older, they're not moving off to try to make it life in Babylon, through Babylon. I gotta go to college and get in debt, in bondage to Babylon. And then I got to work for one of Babylon's corporations and just serve Babylon in captivity and be a slave to them. This is breaking the curses. And people want to do these stupid lessons, and they like going 20 levels deep into scripture to try to get you to believe that it's some genie magic thing that's going to happen. This thing's going to happen by us doing what the Most High told us to do, period. Like one ox I talked to, I said it during my lesson, he was saying how this thing, the way, he was like, these people, they spiritualize 90% of the word and practicalize 10%. The feast days, multiple wives, and I can smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Now that's practical. But the other 90%, you know what I'm saying? They like, oh, that's spiritual, you know. When the reality is 90% of this stuff is practical. And that's the reason why the law seems oppressive, because we're not doing nothing. We ain't doing nothing economically. We just focus on getting everybody up under us and trying to be best friends with everybody in the Hebrew community. You know, I got a couple close socks, but just because personality-wise, whatever, we might not vibe the best. That don't got nothing to do with us economically. You want the best for your kids just like I want the best for my kids and my family. So that's the mindset that we need to get into. And look, reach out to me on email or whatever, because we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be a small group of us or whatever that's down. We're gonna do it, and then when people see it, faith without works. When people see the works, then they're gonna be like, jump on board, because they're gonna be like this, giving their money to their pastor. They're gonna look over. Whoa, look what they do. Dang. Give me this back. Let's do this. Boom. You see what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying ain't complicated. It ain't rocket science. It ain't nothing amazing and super philosophical. It's just, I stripped away the Christian deception and I'm looking at stuff for what it is, what the word is. I'm looking at the word without a Christian lens on. I'm looking at the word without a carnal lust, substance abuse, addiction lens on. I'm looking at the word for what it is. It's about building a nation. It ain't about drinking alcohol, smoking weed, partying, clubbing, and having as much sex and then needing even more. It's about coming together and getting out from under this oppression. All right. So let's see. I agree. Let's see. For this is okay. Let's see. Shalom, Tiger. See you there. For great topic. For me, it was more oppressive in the church system, as it was trying to please people rather than the Most High YAH. That's right. Getting from under that yoke of bondage was best for me. All praises. That's right, man. That's right. That's good. That's their favorite word. Y'all women are wicked. Yeah. If the women are wicked, then the men are wicked. You know what I'm saying? And the women are wicked because you got men who are not willing to stand up and rule over the women righteously. I'm not saying be this dictator to the women, but we have to righteously take our position of authority back and begin to lead. And when a woman's off, be able to stand up to her in a righteous way when you're not getting too emotional and frustrated and losing your damn mind. So, and like I said, when I teach on the women being rebellious, I don't just sit there and harp on that, because at the end of the day, the responsibility always falls on the men. The men are going to have to stand up. I'm not dealing with no soft dudes in my inner circle or trying to do nothing or build nothing with no soft, weak men. You know what I'm saying? And when I say soft and weak, I'm not talking about some man who could go home and scream me out. I'm talking about men who are willing to take correction. That's a big part. You know, a lot of men didn't have father figures in their life. A lot of men had fathers, but they weren't figures, you know, and they don't know how to take correction. I struggled my whole life going through the military, and I couldn't figure out where I was bumping my head to the last couple of years, where I realized I had to learn how to take authority and take correction and stuff. It's a tough lesson. It's tough. Hey, shalom, Sister Diamond. You have to go back and watch the lesson, because we were talking about a lot of stuff when you were in Tampa that I had brought up to you about moving forward, so we can take care of our brothers and sisters out there, and not have to let these other nations take care of our brothers and sisters out there that's in this truth. So. But I know you'll go back and check out the nation. All right, so Larry put, freeing ourselves economically starts with Israel spiritually getting outing of their own way. Exactly. That's good, Larry. Everyone seems to be for self gain these days. They want to teach. They want wives. They want more wanting everything but building a nation. Exactly. Yep, that's it. That is it. That's their favorite word. Yeah. So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna be doing here, very soon, is I'm gonna put the word out. I'm gonna do a Zoom conference. It's gonna be a Zoom video conference. You will know when I put it out. It'll be a Zoom video conference on nation building, on how to build our nation, how we can do it locally if you're isolated, what you could do to help build this nation. And some of the stuff might be financial. You might be off somewhere else. Whatever. We're going to figure out a practical way to begin putting this thing together. We're going to have serious talks. They're not going to last long. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to start making moves. But it'll be a Zoom video conference. I'm not expecting a whole bunch of people on it. It might be a whole bunch of people on it. But we're going to see what everybody could do to begin to, we're going to make this thing happen. Houses, food, all that stuff. And it's not going to be up, Michael Israel is up over it. I might facilitate it, but everybody it's going to be very open, transparent. Everybody will see what's going on, where money's going, everything. If we do something with money, okay? If it involves buying a house, everybody's going to see all the moves that are being made. Ain't going to be no curtain stuff going on behind curtains. Transparency is a key. Everybody needs to be educated on what's going on. You can't be stupid. Okay? The Christian church, that's their big thing. They want you dumb because that way they can take more money off you. But when you're building a nation, everybody needs to be educated. Okay? So we're going to have that Zoom meeting very soon. Anybody interested can come on. I want to make sure I don't force anybody into nothing. You know what I'm saying? I want to leave a huge exit gate and a small entrance gate so that nobody feels manipulated into it. So I'm dealing with people who's serious about what we're going to do. But what I'm going to do is just put it out there, put the Zoom meeting out there. And that's how we're going to figure something out and move forward. Whether you're a low income person who, like my OC up in upstate New York did with his community. They bought houses. They bought a bunch of multifamily houses. The people who had money in their congregation, they put their money together, got it, put it on a contract, bought multifamily houses. The families that were on government assistance or welfare, they moved them into the houses. Now they were in the truth. This is how you help the needy. This is how you help the needy according to the book. Not going to some off-ramp and handing money to some drug addict, satanic worshiper who probably on methamphetamine and giving them your money. This is how you help the needy. So they put all their money together, bought these, they moved the low-income families into the places they owned outright. So the only thing those people who they moved in had to pay was the utilities and the taxes and maintain the place. Okay, that was what the leftover money they put back into the pot to buy another property, and then there was the rest of the money they had, because look, they're not paying a mortgage. So the rest of the money they had was for them. Okay? They took that money, and then they bought another property, and rinse and repeat. Then eventually they had enough. They bought a big piece of land that they were saying eventually they're going to turn that land, they're going to plant crops on that land to where now they don't have to go to the supermarket to buy their food. Okay? That is how you do it. It ain't spiritual combat. We're going to build a super Hebrew church or whatever the hell. Kick your money up to me. And y'all just sending money up to me. And I got to lie to y'all to keep that money coming in and not tell y'all no truth. That's how you do it. So what I'm going to do is Tony Poe. Shalom, Shalom, fam. Good to see you on there. LNL Tracks is on there. Hey, L, I'm going to hit you up later. Tony, I'm going to hit you up later, too. But this is how we do it. This is how it's going to be done. Like I said, keep an eye out for the Zoom meeting where we're going to seriously talk about this. And it's not just the men only. It's the women, too. Men and women alike. We're going to talk about this. And it ain't going to just, like I said, I don't like doing a whole bunch of talking. We're gonna start making moves. We're going to start making moves. So, and don't come on the Zoom meeting with a black screen. You need to get a camera. You could do Zoom on your phone. We need to be able to see your face. Make sure you ain't no damn agent or something like that. So if you come on there and there ain't a picture, then you ain't coming on. You know, but we're going to do that very soon. Initially, what we're going to do is throw some ideas at the wall. We're going to see what sticks. What I desire to do is here with spiritual combat is, and not really with spiritual combat, but I want to get it going here. I think I could get something like that going here and be a model to other brews in other states so that they could begin doing it themselves. And, you know, we can, and not up under me or something like but they can do, y'all can do it yourselves. And then, hey, what do y'all do there? What do y'all produce there? Okay, well, this brother is a truck driver. He could ship a whole shipment of that here, of your tomatoes here, or of your beef or whatever. He could ship that here, and we could pay y'all, boom. And dude, this thing ain't complicated. But you got to have your mind right. I'm not dealing with no hard-headed dummies, man. I'm not dealing with y'all, man. I'm dealing with some like-minded people who have done some spiritual work and they know how to deal with people. Good people. Ox like Akalaya, like Tony Poe, like Sister Diamond. People I've spent time with, I've been around them. You know, I've discerned their spirit. Everybody ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. I got my issues. But you could tell me about them. And I'm not going to bite your head off maliciously. I'm going to consider what you're saying. So that's who we try to do this with. Man, so the way I see it, the first meeting we just going to throw some ideas against the wall. The second meeting, we're going to see what sticks. So we're going to throw some stuff at the wall. We're going to see what sticks. Second meeting, like I said, we're going to see what sticks. Third meeting, we making moves. Like, I'm not dragging my feet. It's not complicated what we're talking about. I like what that sister said, Taniqua. So definitely email me because I do real estate investing. I do. I got some rental properties. Man, I'll cash all that junk in and do this thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think it's gonna be good. But I'm going in the game, man. I'm tired of sitting on the sideline, hearing all this talking. So the Most High Strength said, what's going to be discussed during the first meeting? Just what I'm gonna do is just talk about some of the stuff I've envisioned, some of the stuff that I kind of see. Like some of the stuff that I've already said, hey, we could buy a big house on a big piece of land. You know, we could use that place to have our Shabbat meetings, to have feast days, to have concerts, to have meetings and whatever. We could plan our food there. we could do it all, whatever, and then begin buying more. It could serve as a hotel for Hebrews who are traveling, whatever. So I'm going to just go in on that a little bit. That in no way is the standard. Like what the sister said was something I didn't even know. My ox Sean brought out some stuff that I didn't even know about. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and yeah, we're just gonna see what's doable. That's what's gonna be discussed in the meeting. What is practical and doable and within our scope, given the number of people we have involved and the money we might have involved. My biggest thing with money is complete transparency on a brutal level. Brutal transparency with money. Receipts and bank statements. Because even to the most committed brother, man, they start seeing that money. And Satan being there. You know what I'm saying? So complete brutal transparency on money and moves and objectives, So yeah, man. Yep. He said they saw. Hey, look. Hey, there's something. This place is in Baltimore. I know it was in Detroit for a while. You could buy houses for $10. You could buy houses for $40. And the Chinese were going there buying up whole neighborhoods. Investors were going in buying up whole streets. The one stipulation is that land needs to be cleared within a set amount of time. So you got to have money to clear the land. And you don't have to start building on it, but you can clear the land. The land needs to be cleared. So you can't just let the house sit there and be dilapidated. Something has to begin happening. But we get enough Hebrews, we don't need to pay people to do the carpentry and lay the tiling. We got brothers. We got a brother right here know how to lay tile. He's an electrician. Finds a Hebrew who is a structural person in the Hebrew community. Fly him out here to Jacksonville. Put him up in one of our houses, and he could train us all on. You see what I'm saying? It ain't complicated. It's just getting out from that Christian mentality. So, sister said, just found out about Atlanta company selling homes with as little as $5K down. See? So, like I said, Taniqua, you live in Atlanta? Me and Sister Koya probably met you already. So, yeah. So what y'all need to do this. This is what we're going to do. If you're going to do this thing with the Zoom, and like I said, I'll put it out later. If you're going to do this thing with the Zoom, put your, okay, New York. Okay, that's cool. If we're going to do this thing with the Zoom, put your, get all your information together. Like what you know. Like this sister here knows, she put the thing in there about the trust and all that stuff like that. About putting the house in the trust and everything. So let's do that. We got a sister in Baltimore. She said, I'm from Baltimore. There are whole blocks of cheap boarded up houses. I'm talking about, dude, we could buy up a community. You could buy up a community. You could buy, and I'm talking about $100 a month for a couple months, build up a pot, put money down, boom, 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 rinse and repeat. Move folks in. But we're going to talk about all that because when this was presented to me, when I was talking to Anak about it, the first thing out of my mouth is, well, you know the way our people are, this, that, and the other. He was like, he told me, he said, you're always going to have problems. You just got to be willing to deal with them in a biblical way. He said they had their group, their board of people, they had to vote people out. And if they didn't want to leave the property or whatever the situation was, because everything was done in decency and in order and according to the laws of the land, it wasn't an issue, And the power is spread out enough so it ain't nothing personal. So, Hebrew neighborhoods, man. And let me tell you, I got brothers who drive trucks and they ship. So, like, if you got a community, like there's an OC in Louisiana, slaughter cows. Put our money together, buy a slaughtered cow, have one of our Hebrew shippers ship it up here, ship it to the neighborhood. Boom. It ain't hard. And it don't need me. It don't need no person to make this thing happen. It just needs, teamwork. Sister Angie said, she said, I'm giving to this when you get it together. And you're not giving to it. This ain't nothing you're going to give to. You're going to put your money into it and be part of it. This ain't Christian church. So you ain't going to just kick money to me and then I go buy my Bentley with it. You're going to put money into this. And then when it starts generating money, you're going to get money out. So, yep. So yeah, y'all, with that said, man, yeah, if y'all are interested, just definitely email me and keep an eye on my live streams and my videos when I put the word out when we have our Zoom meeting. On my Zoom meeting account, I can have up to 100 people on there. So I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be that much. But yeah, but what y'all need to do in the meantime is get all your information together for any ideas you might have or what we might be able to do. Consolidate it down so you're not sitting there talking for 20 minutes and wasting the time. Just, consolidate it down to some hard-hitting, straightforward stuff. And we're going to do it, man. We're gonna push this thing forward, figure out the best approach. I'm telling you, don't take a lot. And the way it'll be, like, in a short period of time, hey, if I'm going out to Texas or if I'm going up north, there's a little community up there, and instead of me paying this money to a Hilton hotel, I just stay up at this place, at a Hebrew hotel. You know what I'm saying? A Hebrew, like Beloved Awi said, a brew B&B, Hebrew B&B or whatever. So yeah, now he said Air Brew and B, something like that. So yeah, we're gonna do this. If you got questions, if you think, hey, well, this might not work, that, bring it out there, bring it out. So anyway, with that said, I think this lesson was pretty informative, but that's why it's so practical. That's why we got to be straight up, honest, trustworthy, because so we can come together closer and do bigger things. But anyway, with that said, y'all, man, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Like I said, if y'all interested, definitely email me. My email's right there on screen. And just keep an eye out. Subscribe to the live. And we're going to do this thing. Anyway, with that said, y'all, appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm Michael Israel. I'm going to take it out with my OC L&L Music. If you want these songs, you can go to sonofshemites.com or go to his YouTube channel, Son of Shemites. Okay? That's it. Shalom, y'all.
I've been changed. I'll be the first to say I was one of them, that we only live by grace and just have faith. I was taught to listen to what my pastor say. Only you should trust in him. He'll never lead you astray.
Yeah, my email is right there on the screen. Right there at the bottom right, I guess, or bottom left. Yeah, the bottom left. Right here. There's my email. Okay?
I've been changed. The truth has made me free. I've been changed. I am no longer deceived. I've been changed. take something that is so simple. Something simple like the fourth commandment. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It is written that His word don't change. Why do you lie and defy the holy scriptures just to satisfy your desires? And now that I know better, He don't even live according to the letters. They throw away the holy scriptures, telling me that it's all done with. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. I've been changed. Ain't no going back to what I used to do. No, I've been changed. I'm a new man. I've been changed. I've been changed. Whatever y'all say, I will obey. I no longer listen to men. I test everything they say. Let the word of YAH be true, and let every man be a liar.